Hi, and good afternoon. It's Jim from maverickstar Observatory. Guys, this is a rare day, and it might be signs of other things to come. What am I talking about? Well, in my history, I have never seen CO2 at such low levels. We have the equipment here at the observatory to monitor atmospheric CO2, oxygen. We've got the Trimac system that pinpoints the latest position of the magnetic North Pole, which we will do tomorrow. But having all this equipment, I have never observed in a single day two things that have caught my attention. First of all, we're going to go through all this in a second, but first of all, 401 parts per million. CO2 is at a record all-time low today. But there's something else which may want to encourage you to go down to your local store and buy a bottle of scotch, because also I have never in my entire scientific life witnessed 9 active regions on our sun. We have 9 active regions on our sun. These two things, obviously, you know me, and if you watch the last few videos, I know there's something else coming big, which is going to blow us all away. Maybe Russia's going to use a nuke on Ukraine. Why not? The world's going to shit. Our solar system's active. Anything is possible. So let's get through it. Okay, so we got 401 parts per million atmospheric CO2. Atmospheric oxygen is at 20.7. We got nothing to worry about there. Beautiful amount of oxygen in our atmosphere at the moment. You know what? Without oxygen, you don't get fire. So having 20% of oxygen, it's a good job we don't have 20% of our atmosphere with CO2, because if somebody lit their cigarette up, we would ignite instantly. Okay, so your radiation background is 00.16 microsieverts. The volcano's in eruption, nothing to worry there. Crept up once since the last time we done the Earth Alpha at glance, but that's average. It averages 26, 25. Yeah, we've seen 27, 28 active volcanoes on the Earth. The largest earthquake is 6.3. Bowen Island, Japan region. Muons per square metre per hour in the UK, measuring in at 578. Over in Canada, 941. Obviously we got, like I've mentioned already, 9 active regions on the sun. And if you're a solar physicist, I bet you feel the exact same way as me right now, because we know that is abnormal. I have never seen 9 active regions on our solar disk. What does that mean? Are we looking at the sun about to supernovae? If that is the case, it's over. I've never seen that. 9 active regions on the disk. It's definitely something to be drawing your attention. Okay, geomagnetic field quiet, solar X-rays normal, and obviously our jet streams are fucked. Unsettled. That's a scientific way of putting something. That's fucked. Unsettled. Okay? We got polar jet streams at 30 degrees in the subtropical over the equator, northern region of our Earth, mixing with 60 degrees polar jet streams. And then we have subtropical interactions over the equator. And, this is the same for the southern hemisphere. I really feel today that we're going to see probably something erupt off the sun. A major, X-class flare. I do, because it's not every day you break out the equipment and get readings like this. Two things in one go. Okay? Lowest ever CO2 recordings, and then 9 sunspots on our solar disk. I bet you at Goddard, NASA, those solar physicists are shitting themselves right now, because I bet you the alarm bells are ringing off like crazy. 9 active regions on our sun. I've never witnessed that, and I bet you a lot of those guys have never witnessed that, and they must be thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, what's coming next? Will it calm down over the coming weeks, or will it continue to become more active? And if it does, well, we know that this has never happened. It's never happened in my history anyhow. I'm just saying that. But if it continues to escalate, we could be looking at, the very next thing that stars do. I know people are talking about micronovae. This fucker will just blow up, and that will be it. There'll be no micronovae. I don't even understand the terminology of micronovae. If you're talking about something happening with a star that ejects massive X-class solar flares, then that's what it is. It's not a micronovae. A novae is when something blows up to bits. Yeah? When a sun collapses in on itself and then fucking explodes. That is called a supernovae. That's in the nature of every star at some point. I've never seen 9 sunspots ever on our sun. We're talking grand solar minimum. What about grand fucking solar maximum? Because that's what we're looking at today. Grand solar maximum. There has never been so many sunspots in my entire career as being a scientist on our solar disk. And you know what? Mainstream media are not saying nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. I'd keep your eyes on that. If you go over to our website, you can see our live solar data that is updated all day long. Every hour I think it gets updated. You can see what's going on with that. But let me tell you something, it won't make no fucking difference in any case. And I do apologise if I'm swearing. But the way I feel right now, I think it justifies that use of language. We've all, the infringements on our human rights, our freedom of speech, the dismantling of democracy, what they wage wars on in this day and age. I think there's a use for that sort of language right now. These crazy, cranky, psychopathic politicians have no idea. Where is Kay Burley today? Mentioning that CO2 has dropped to 401 parts per million. Where's that cranky woman that we see on Sky News? Why isn't she telling the world today, like she usually does? Remember when she made that exaggeration? Oh, the UK is burning. 5 houses set fire during that little heat wave we had a few months ago, and the UK is burning. That's the exaggeration coming from that crankpot. You know what? I'd put her straight away in a straitjacket and have her locked away in an asylum somewhere for that sort of reporting. If you're in a position to report on mainstream media, do it fucking honestly. Do your job as a journalist. Report what you see, not what you imagine or what you're told to report on. This is the world we're living in today, guys. Full of crankpots. No one has the initiative to go out there and get the appropriate equipment. That's what we do here at this observatory. We've brought the equipment. We've got one of the rarest bits of equipment on this earth at this very moment, the Trimac system. You can't buy that. Try and buy one. Good luck to you. Even if you're an electronics engineer, have you got the initiative and the dedication to build one yourself? I bet you're not. I did. I had that initiation because I promised people on this website that we would buy one, and then when I looked into it, companies were like whacking the price up. £250,000. We can't just knock it off like you want. When you look into it, we've got to employ electronics engineers, programmers, designers, this, that and the other. You imagine how much each of these people are on a year. That's why I took the initiative to build it myself. Didn't come easy. Most of you that are still with me, 4 years on now, understood what I was going through. Sit at my computer trying to teach yourself electronics at that level and programming, almost vomiting because of the requirements and dedication. I would switch on the computer, sit there for 4 hours on an afternoon and get nowhere, and do the same the next day and the next day and the next day, just through pure persistence. I got there, and that's why we got the Trimac system. You can't buy it and put any price on that. It's priceless. It's like the Mona Lisa. That's how I see it. To me, our Trimac system is the Mona Lisa. You can't buy it. Maybe one day the Vatican will have our Trimac system in their archives as the only Trimac system in existence. Maybe it'll be as that value to them, because we all know that the Vatican are thieves. They have stole everybody's literacy that has ever been recorded on paper, artworks, this, that and the other. It's all in the Vatican archives. So maybe one day there will be the Trimac system, and underneath it will say, built by Gene, and then next to that it might be built by, Leonardo's submarine or something like that he built. It's rare, is all I'm saying. You don't get these things that often. But guys, I know I've sidetracked a little. I'm sure you found it entertaining, but here's the deal. We got the lowest ever recording of CO2 in our history of recording CO2, and we have the highest ever recordings of sunspot numbers, 9 on the disc. Two things that we can draw from this is that CO2 is that low. So, as we've been talking about over the last few videos, is that an indication we're returning back into the glacial period? Are all the sunny days gone from the interglacial period, and now we're going back into the glacial period? Because we always see CO2 fall as that happens. Have we passed the thermocline? And then, strangely, we have 9 sunspots on our solar disk. You've heard of the Carrington event? The event that burned the only existing technology back in the day, which was the telegraph. We get, a major X-class flare, and I'm saying it's on the cards, guys. 9 sunspots. We've got a maximum possibility of a major X-class taking place in the next few days. I'm not kidding you. But if we do, all the satellites will be knocked out in lower and upper orbits around the Earth, and all your technology will be fried. Cancer rates will go through the roof. Couldn't be at a worse time, could it? Maximum potential of a major X-class flare at a time when the Earth's magnetic fields are going through a reversal, and the Earth's magnetic field has weakened beyond 20% already. Our primary protective shield has gone down more than 20%. We've got an active sun at the moment, which is a good thing, only for one reason, is that it does pump up the heliosphere in our solar system. So at the moment, we are pumping out, a good proportion of the galactic X-rays right now from entering our solar system. But it's what's coming off the sun, which is not good for us, because we are down 20% on our magnetosphere right now. And we are approaching March. This is exactly what I expected to see. I didn't expect, I'll be honest, I expected to see some changes. I did. Are they related to the magnetic pole reversal, which is prominently due to accelerate in just a few months? You know what the thing is with me, even though I know that they're not related, you can't blame CO2 on a lowering magnetosphere. You can't blame, obviously, 9 sunspots appearing on the disk, but the coincidental, sort of the synchronicity of these things happening in one day at this point in time with all what's going on in the world is, making my ears prick up. That's why I say, what? Might be a good time to nip down to your local store and get a bottle of scotch, invite a few friends round at this point in time. Because I don't believe in synchronicity. There's an order to everything. If you saw the last couple of videos I've done, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Just requires some logical thinking to work it out. Let's see what happens. That time's coming soon. Guys, link down there if you want to help support our observatory. And why not? You know what? A few people over the last few days chipped in a few bucks, and that's what keeps us going here. That's why, I go and grab the gear and go and set it up and take these things like CO2 readings, atmospheric oxygen, and tomorrow we're doing the latest magnetic pole position. God, I'm just anticipating what we could probably see there. But without support, we're nothing. Like a sailing boat with no sail up, dead in the wind. So link down there if you want to help support. I'm going to say what I usually do. Guys, take care of your loved ones. As always, bye for now.